Hello, Miss Wheeler. My name's Amanda Matthews, and I'm the LCSW here at this agency. Before we get started, I kind of want to just go over confidentiality with you. Everything said in here will remain confidential, except for certain situations. Those situations are if I feel like you're going to hurt yourself or if I feel like you're going to hurt others.
Okay.
I'm also required to report if there is any child abuse or older adult abuse. But besides those situations, everything will remain confidential. Does that everything make sense to you?
Yes,
Okay.
I understand.
All right, so for today's session, I kind of want to just get to know you a little bit better, kind of figure out what's going on, and then use that information to come up with a plan to figure out, where we need to go from here. Can you tell me what brings you in today?
There's three things that I'm concerned about. One, I think I'm sad all the time, depressed, and that affects my young son that I have. And then also, I have trouble leaving my house. I get real nervous and anxious whenever I have to leave my house to do anything.
Okay.
And then I think people are watching me as well. I think, and that makes me anxious too. And when I go out, I think people are watching me. So those are the three
main
things that I think that I need to address or at least talk about.
Okay. Can you tell me more about the depression?
Okay. Yeah, I'm really sad a lot. I feel like my life is not going anywhere. I'm not motivated. I have no energy to do much of anything. And once again, I have a young child in the home, and this affects him. I see other people that are happy and that enjoy life, and that's not me. I don't see any of their behavior in myself. And it's just, I guess you could say I was depressed, but to me it's just a great sadness
Right.
that I have.
Do you remember about when these symptoms started?
Well, I think it started, I've had some miscarriages, and those really affected me a lot.
Yeah.
And then I had a failed marriage as well.
Okay.
So, I think that's when, when I lost my babies, each time that happened, I felt worse. It just seems like I got a little bit more sad and a little bit more withdrawn each time that happened. And then when I got a divorce, that was a whole bunch of other issues that happened too that I think have attributed to it.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your husband, or your ex-husband?
I don't know, he's an okay guy. I mean, there's not really anything bad that I can say about him. We're still friendly, not really friendly, we're cordial. I don't ever see him except when I drop my son off when it's time for his visitation. That's the only time that we see each, or he comes and picks him up. That's the only time we talk. So
Right.
we don't interact anymore.
Okay. And you mentioned some problems with anxiety. Can you tell me some things about that?
Yeah, I get anxious when I leave my home.
Okay.
I only go out of the house maybe once a month to do grocery shopping. And I buy a lot of foods that I can store so that I don't have to go out often. And like I said, my husband, most of the time, he'll come over and get my son when it's his time, to get him. When I leave my house, just when I walk out the door, I start having trouble breathing. Like I get short of breath, I get lightheaded and dizzy, I get a clammy feeling, like sweaty, and I I feel anxious and scared. And so, like I said, I don't go out unless I just absolutely have to, and that's usually just for groceries.
Okay.
So
what do you do for income?
I'm fortunate to have a work-at-home job.
Okay.
I do phone sales for a vitamin company, and I call people up and and offer the product to them. I don't like it though. It makes me anxious even doing that. I feel like I'm bothering people just calling them up and doing sales. But I don't think I can get a job outside the home. So I'm kind of stuck doing this job, and it doesn't bring in much money. It's a very low paying job, and I make just barely enough with the child support that I get from my ex-husband and from the sales job. I make barely enough to get by, and so
So your only income is the child support and what you make from
and make from the sales.
Okay. So you mentioned also some feelings of paranoia. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, my son has made some comments before that his dad has asked him about how I'm doing. And I think he's referring to my mental state when he asked my son how I'm doing. And I think he wants custody back of Henry. And I think people are watching me. I think he's got people watching me to see if I mess up. And if I do, he's going to come in and try to take him away from me. So I just feel like, on the rare times that I do go out, I'm being watched, or even watched while I'm in my home. I just feel like he's checking up on me in some way. And that's another thing that makes me anxious. I'm afraid I could lose my son if I can't, feel better.
Right.
And stop feeling so anxious and depressed.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you have some depressive symptoms, and you're experiencing some anxiety and paranoia, and you are here and you are wanting to fix that and to feel better so that you can be a better parent for your son.
That's the most important thing, yes.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I'm very happy that you talked with me today. I can tell you're a very dedicated mother. I definitely commend you for taking on the child and having him most of the time. I think that you're a lot stronger than you know. Coming here and
I don't know about that.
No. Coming here and saying, I need to get help so I can help my son. I mean, that does take a lot of strength. What I'm thinking we need to do is set up weekly counseling services where we can work on the depression and anxiety and just go from there.
Okay.
All right.
And okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm a little anxious about having to leave to come to the sessions, but I'm willing to try.
That's awesome.
And try it anyway.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It was very nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you.